tattoo of the nose guard.
Welcome to the newest episode of the Huddle. My name is Irvin Godinez.
I'm Colby Bart.
And today we have an incredible guest. Today he's a senior at Indian Lake. He is the CBC Mad River Player of the Year. He won it junior and senior year. He led his team to back-to-back division championships. He is the all-time leading scorer at Indian Lake, and they just recently went 10-0 in conference and 19-6 overall in their record. Please welcome Caiden Nicol.
Yes, sir.
What's up? Appreciate you for having me.
Caiden, I really appreciate you coming on today, man. I've been wanting to get you on this thing just because I know how great you are at your sport, man. And, big shout-out to Coach Bodermiller because he's the one that reached out to me and got me to record you guys this season. You know, he reached out to me and he kind of convinced the whole Indian Lake school to make sure I got there. So, you know, I had the honor to record Caiden his senior year in the team. And, you know, I'm just grateful that I was able to do that for you guys. And the fact that you guys went and had a great season and went so far, you know, was awesome. So, you know, when I got to there the first day, right, Coach Boderman told me that you didn't play football that year and you decided just to stick with basketball. And I knew you were a great football player, so can you just kind of walk us through that, why you decided not to play football your senior year?
Yeah, so I kind of just fell out of love with it, honestly.
Okay.
Like, honestly, for a while, like, my sophomore year, like, I loved football. Like, I thought I was going to go to college for it. I had, like, max schools like Toledo and them come and look at me and stuff. So it was, like, for real. Like, I really loved it. And then, like, I got to my junior year, and I was like, I found myself, like, not enjoying what I'm doing, and that's not me. Like, I got to enjoy what I do. So it was really hard for me, and I felt myself, like, kind of falling out and not giving as much effort as I feel like I could for my team. So I don't think it's really fair to them to just have me out there, and I'm not giving all I can for the team. So I think it was best for me to step away.
Did you only not play your senior year, or you also didn't play junior year either?
I only didn't play my senior year. I just played my junior year.
You know, you talked about not having the love for the game as much anymore. And, you know, Irv brought up you being a tremendous basketball player, and we are grateful for you coming in today and, you know, taking some time out of your day to come and visit and talk. And, you know, I kind of just want to know a little bit about your background, your upbringing, and how athletics kind of impacted you.
So I grew up playing baseball, basketball, football. Like, I was a 3-sport athlete kid. I just loved to be outside, loved to go play and everything. And I'm a really competitive dude, so, like, sports fit me perfectly and everything. So sports have really taught me a lot of my life lessons and everything. And it's always a great way for me and my family to come together and stuff. So I've just enjoyed everything that sports has brought me. So it's really been a huge part of my life growing up.
And, you know, you worked hard, obviously, this offseason. So, right, your senior year was your first year not playing ball, right? So what did that offseason look like for you to get ready for basketball?
A lot of the same thing every day. Like, so every day waking up at like 5 to 6, getting in, shooting, lifting, and then most of the time we'd go back throughout the day and then go shoot again. A lot of it was just getting up shots in the morning, and then we did more skills work in the afternoon. But when school started, we still went around like 5:30, me and Avery Pickanu every day.
It was you and him?
Yeah, me and him every day before school. And then after school we'd go lift. And then sometimes we'd even get like agility work at the beach end when it came springtime.
So when you say we, is it just you and Avery, or like who are you talking about when you say we?
So Avery and me started it right after the day after my junior season ended. Like, we were in there, and like we brought people in from time to time. But we have a lot of spring sport athletes.
Right.
Like, a lot of our kids play baseball, so whenever they could come in, they would always come in and work. So it was really nice to have them. But it was consistently us two.
Dude, that's pretty cool. Do you do any, like, training with any, like, instructors or trainers as well? I know that you played, I think, AAU for a little while. I don't know what organization or how long you were there, but take us through that a little bit as well.
So when I first got in AAU, I was my 7th grade year going into 8th grade. And so I got in with Trey Huntsman and everything. So I started training with him, playing for his AAU teams. And then I think it was my freshman going into sophomore year, I started playing for Pumas. And then I kind of, like, I carried my like coach with like me and my coach were together all the time, Coach Toops. So when he went to Pumas, I transferred with him over there and everything. So I trained with the Pumas too, and then after that, I really just stayed there. I didn't really train with anyone like crazy, like Coach Selton. He trained me like all summer basically this year, summer and fall. Like it was just him walking me through stuff like how we wanted to play this year, how I needed to play, what I needed to do to play like that. So Coach Selton's definitely probably been my biggest trainer.
So, just kind of piggyback off of what I was saying, you mentioned playing AAU since you've been in seventh grade, I believe is what you said. Walk me through that a little bit, that experience, and, how it might have developed you as an athlete and also made bonds that, you didn't expect, I guess.
Yeah, so AAU, it's just like it's a different atmosphere in school ball, especially out here. Like the type of ball you play out here, and then when you go to AAU and you're traveling everywhere, like it's a different type of style. Like you're seeing kids getting dunked on everywhere you walk and everything. So it definitely slows down the game for you here, just because AAU, like it's run and gun, like we're here to play. So yeah, AAU, and then as far as the bond goes, you're with those guys in hotels like every weekend and stuff.
The hotels.
Yeah, the hotel is definitely some of the best parts about AAU tournaments, I swear. But I still talk to friends like Max Paris, CJ Wilson, like players just around here that I played with. Like we're still really cool and stuff close. So honestly, it brings like friends that you'll have probably for a lifetime.
How cool is it to be able to play against those guys? Once you're a team, and like for example, you got to play against CJ this year. So how cool is it to line up against him and just kind of play against each other?
Yeah, it is really cool. It's really competitive. Like we're all really competitive guys, especially we're talking trash to each other all off season, like and everything. So it definitely gets a little intense through the games.
Can you talk to us a little bit about your junior season? Because obviously, like I mentioned in the beginning, you won the CBC Player of the Year your junior year as well. So kind of talk us through that season.
Yeah, as far as the season goes, honestly, it was a roller coaster. We had a lot of ups and downs. We couldn't really find consistency. So I think we went just over 500, honestly. We just couldn't find ourselves as a team. And then we got better towards the end. We had a lot of new guys. We only had two, me and Cam, that played varsity before. Everyone else, this is their first year. So it was a lot of new. It was really hard to get going. But by the end of the season, I think we had a better connection and stuff. And then I had a pretty good year that year. It was my third year playing varsity, so I was kind of used to it by then and everything. And I was very grateful to get Player of the Year that year.
You mentioned that you started getting into the groove of things, and you had 3 years under your belt playing varsity minutes. What kind of leader are you for your team, and what do you think your teammates would say about you and who you are?
I'm definitely a lead by example type of guy. Yeah. Like I'm gonna go do it, and then just follow me, and I got you guys. And if they ever need me to ask them anything, or if I need to talk to them, they need to talk to me. I'm very open. Like I'm not gonna sit there and scream in your face. Yeah. Like I'm pretty relaxed on the court because it's just at the end of the day it's just us five out there just playing. So nothing to get too stressed about.
I think one of the best parts about being able to record you guys play is getting to watch you guys react to each player, and get to show the love of the game that you guys have. Because, for example, I look at you as a just chill guy, right? And when I see you on the court, once you make that crazy bucket, I can see you just flexing, yelling. And I think that's some of the greatest moments that I captured this year.
That takes us into this year, as Irv was saying. What are some of your favorite memories and, situations you've been in this year as an athlete?
Honestly, just prepping for the really hype games, like the Urbanas, Bell Fountains, because we lost to Bell Fountain last year. So prepping for those big games, all week, we just knew we had to do to win. So it was really exciting.
Is there any time this year, obviously you guys were really great this year, but was there any time where you thought, this is kind of a tough moment for me right now?
Yeah, so throughout the year, we lost to Bishop Hartley. which we knew we had to play pretty good to beat them, and it wasn't home. It was a mutual spot. So right then and there, like, that was our first loss of the season. So, like, we either could go one way or the other. And then, so that was a really tough time for us, I remember. And then St. Mary's, that was a heartbreaker because that was a game. It was getting towards the end of the year. Like, we're trying to get in that groove and everything, and that loss just did not help at all. So that was when we really kind of had to find ourselves as a team and pull ourselves together. So that was probably a big one.
You guys broke a lot of records overall this year. And I remember, what was the, like, you guys went undefeated. Like, what was the undefeated record until you guys lost that first game?
I think our first loss, we went 7-0, then lost. I think
7-0?
Yeah, we started out 7-0.
And what was, like, what was the first record you guys beat? Like, what's the number that you guys beat? Like, what was it, like 4-0 or like 5-0 or?
Yeah, so no team had ever went 4. No team had ever went 5-0, and then we went 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and then we lost to Bishop Hartley. So
Makes me wonder. As an athlete, I wish I had moments back, games I could have redone, or situations that I could have re-entered and did it differently. Do you have any moments in your entire athletic career so far that you wish you could just have back and to do differently?
To do differently, probably our sophomore year when we played Alder at home. That was probably one of the greatest atmospheres I've ever played. You couldn't find a seat to sit. People were standing along the wall and everything. I think we lost by a bucket. They might have hit a free throw at the end. We had to foul them, but it was just by a bucket and everything. But I really wish we could have won that game because I don't think I've beat Alder during my high school career. So that would have been huge for me.
Man, I got to give Indian Lake credit, man, because I think when I walked into that gym the first game to record, it was insane. Like, It was so loud. There were so many people there. And I'm not used to that, right? Riverside's really, really small. Love that place. But, now if I'm, not in those big atmospheres, it just feels really, really different. So, it's really cool that you guys get to have that type of energy and that type of jock block that you guys do. But I do want to get into you talking about you beating the all-time scoring record at Indian Lake. So, walk us through that moment because I remember recording it, right? You got that dunk. So how did that feel right after that?
It was a crazy feeling because I didn't plan on dunking it. I kind of was going up for a layup and I was like, shoot, I'm here, so let's see and everything. But my whole entire family was there, the community's there and everything. So it was great for everyone to see, but it really just meant a lot for me because it was always a moment that me and my family always talked about, going probably into my sophomore year, can I get it, anything like that. So it was huge for me and my teammates. They really pushed me to get it. I have some of the best teammates in the world, and they helped me so much. So overall, it was for me, but it was also I wanted to show everyone else that that I could do it, and that was a big deal.
Talking about dunking. Was that your first in-game dunk too? Was that?
Yeah, that was
Dude.
probably my first in-game dunk ever.
Imagine that.
Man, it was just awesome getting to watch it, man. Cause right, I'm sitting there recording, right. I know that I think it was your first bucket, your first bucket that game.
Yeah.
Was to break that record. So I was just sitting back, I didn't know what to expect. So I just had to make sure that the camera was on you a lot of the time to make sure that I got that bucket. And I was like, what's this thing that he's about to do? And I think someone got a steal, right? They just passed it to you, and just wide open lane. So I thought that was pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
There's absolutely no better way to do it than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First in-game dunk, and you're breaking a record. Come on. You just can't beat that.
Yeah,
man.
it was a great feeling for sure.
Can you talk a little bit more about that though? Get a little deeper with that, because you talked about your family being there, but right, we stopped the game. Everyone stopped the game just to kind of cheer you on, just getting you on the court, getting to watch all the fans stand up and cheer for you. Was there some sort of moment where you had man, I worked so hard for this for so many years, and now my name is here forever.
Yeah, it was huge. Looking at everyone in the stands, again, there was nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
All the fans and stuff, and it was just man, this is special. I'll never get this moment back in my life. I wish I could stay here forever sometimes, but you just got to enjoy it while you can and then keep moving. But it's probably one of the best experiences of my life.
man, and that's what makes like getting these moments so special, man. Because now, not only like you said, you can't relive that, but you can at the very least, get to watch it again. You get to watch you dunking that ball. You get to watch seeing the fans get up. So I'm just like really, really happy that I got to watch you do that, man.
So, kind of to piggyback off of what Irv's saying, we're talking about these special moments. And I want to talk about your teammates a little bit. What have your teammates done for you throughout the years as a person or a player that really has contributed to your success?
We just have a lot of trust in each other. Like, we're all very close on and off the court. Like, shoot, after practice, you'll see us going to McDonald's or Subway every day and stuff. But they put a lot of trust in me because, I mean, I'm the point guard, so I have the ball a lot. And they put a lot of trust in me. I put a lot of trust in them. And they're I can't explain, like, how smart some of them are. Like, when it comes to basketball, knowledge-wise, we had a very smart team and everything. So it's a lot of it's about trust.
I think Irv captured a moment in one of the Lake Show episodes.
You watching it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Shout out the Lake Show. But in this episode, you guys are in the locker room at halftime. I think it was the St. Mary's game. And you had everybody talking X and O's, huddling up. And Coach O wasn't even, like, talking nothing. It was just you guys directing each other and kind of helping out and coming up with a scheme. And that says a lot. It says a lot because, when you play for a team, you want to be able to play for a team. You know what I mean? Like, not be an individual, but to overall progress in the right direction, to be able to trust your teammate. Like, if I'm going to get you the ball, do something with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I feel like the development of your guys' basketball team and watching you guys grow throughout the years it's a pleasure, dude. Like, 'cause I'm just an old guy now. I don't play ball, but I really enjoy watching it. And with your guys' success, it's pretty easy to go sit in a seat at Indian Lake and go watch a ball game. You know what I mean?
I do want to talk a little bit about that moment. You said Coach O wasn't talking, right? So that game, right? I believe he was not there. Is that right?
Yeah, he was sick.
Yeah. So I walked in there and I see Coach Shellen, right? He's kind of pacing back and forth, right? Just like the normal stuff right before pregame, but he's like the only one there. And I asked him, is Coach O here? And he was like, no. And I was like, wait, what? He's just not here. Like, I know this game's really important. Like, it's a really hyped up game. And it's like, no, he's sick. I was like, what, bro? So just kind of talk to us about that situation where, your head coach is not at the game.
Yeah, so, like, when you're missing, like, your head coach, like, that's, like, your leader of the team and everything. So, I mean, people got to step up and roles have to be filled and everything. And I just felt like I had enough experience that, like, I could talk everyone through the X and O's. Like, I'm not going to say, like, I can be the coach, but, like, I can help as much as I need to and everything. And I think we had a real problem with running one of our plays on offense in one of our sets and at halftime. So that's when we were drawing that up and what we can do to be successful and everything. So
we're talking about your teammates. We're talking about these specific moments. I want you to take me through when Cam broke the 1,000-point record and how it made you feel as his teammate.
I was proud. Cam is one hell of a basketball player. Like, yeah, one hell of a guy. Just one of the best people you can ever be around, honestly, and everything. And I'm all for, like, I want to be the greatest class at Indian Lake for basketball. And, like, Cam, like, breaking that record, like, 2 people breaking over 1,000 points, like, that's legit. And he's, like, one of the most deserving people. He's been in the gym. I mean, his dad was a coach, and he's been in the gym ever since anyone can remember. So it was just seeing someone get what they should have, like, what they earned. Mm-hmm. So it was nothing short of amazing.
When I came to that first scrimmage, obviously I expected a lot from you, right? I've known you for, I've heard of your name for a few years now, and knew you that you got the Player of the Year previous year. And when I walked into that first scrimmage, I didn't know what to expect, right? I just expected you to go off. That's all I knew was going to happen. And Cam just got on fire quick, bro. As soon as I left that gym, I was like, oh, that boy is the three-point shooter. Like, that kid is crazy. Watching him play, bro, just watching him drain 3 after 3 after. When he's shooting that ball, that thing's going in. So it was really awesome to to know that he broke that 1,000-point mark. But also, did he? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he the second leading scorer now or third?
I believe he ended second.
Yeah, second. So that's
It's crazy.
So he's number one, and then
for
his
the teammate
teammates
to-
number two, bro. So talk about like just an overall great class. I mean, again, you guys went 10-0 in conference, 19-6, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
To finish off, so like I think it's gonna be pretty hard to beat your senior class, man.
So, that takes us in. We talked about Cam breaking the 1,000-point record, being the second all-time leading scorer, with you being the first. And I just feel like overall this year's been pretty successful. And I feel like the team that you played on this year was a pretty special unit. And I want to talk about Coach O breaking his record now. What did that mean to you, and what do you think it meant to your team?
It was great to be there, like to be on the team that like he did it with, because he's put like so much effort into us, and he's the gym teacher at the middle school. So like we all talked to him in middle school and said like how we want to do this and everything. He just has always just wanted to help us. Like never talks about him, never talks about what he wants and everything. So it was great to do that for him, like to help him get that.
So that kind of takes me into, kind of another question. After having a successful regular season, going undefeated in the conference, having all these cherished and enjoyable memories, what were the goals when you were going into the tournament?
We wanted to win a district title, and then we were wanting to go play in a regional title. So, yeah, those were our big-time goals and everything, but we came up short this year, so.
Yeah, so kind of elaborate off of that. Like, take us through those – because you've won the first game, right? Mm-hmm. Take us through that game against, I think it was Anna, or who'd you play?
Green.
We played Green in
Greenan?
first game.
So who was the second game?
Madison. Yeah, Madison.
I think it was
Plains?
just Madison.
Yeah, it's Madison. They might have like another name to them, but I'm pretty sure Madison.
So just take us through, game by game, that experience, and even the tough times there.
Yeah, so we played Green in first round. We had, I think, four days to prep for them, so we had a really good idea of what type of team they were. And when we got to Vandalia and everything, it was our first time being there all year, so we were just trying to get a feel for the gym.
Yeah.
So I think we were the first game of the day too. We were 5:30.
Right,
so like
yep.
it was really just like everyone needs to like wake up and get ready. So Greenan was a good game to start, because I think they came out flat, and then we really ramped up the energy early.
Yeah.
And so we were just kind of coasting from there. And then Madison, they were a really intense team. They were a team that pressed the whole time and really trying to get in your grill.
Yeah.
So that game got a little heated, but I think we still won that game by like 15 or 20. So the first two games, they were pretty good warm-up games, honestly.
Yeah.
But, after that, we played Versailles. And that was a game that we knew, because we played Versailles earlier this season. We had to go toe to toe with them, and we knew whoever won that game was gonna go pretty far in the tournament. So, and we came up short in the last 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
Had a turnover, they got a bucket, and we kind of couldn't recover. So that's where that kind of ended.
Can you talk to us, how you felt walking off the court, knowing that was, the last time as a high school player you were going to be able to do that?
Yeah, it was kind of surreal feeling. I actually really just looked around for a second, because you never think it's going to end when you're in high school. You think you're here forever when you're not. I think, honestly, kind of a piece of me, kind of just stayed out there like that kind of kid that just, every day was just thinking about just going and playing basketball. I think that's still kind of out there, and I don't know. I've tried not to really think about it that much, but the feeling of being done with high school basketball is just kind of surreal right now, and it kind of hurts to an extent, but I think it'll be good over time.
Caiden gave us his story walking off of the court at Vandalia for the last time, kind of leaving a piece of him out there. And I kind of want to know a little bit about how you felt when you were done with ball. And I mean, I'll give my side, but I'm curious.
Yeah. So, right. Story is ACL MCL tear. Right. And in the moment, I had no idea what it was because I was still kind of like limping on it. So I didn't know that it was the end. But in the moment, I think I was just more like, why am I on the field right now? Because we are killing this team. It is wet, slippery, just ugly out.
Yeah.
And it's like literally the end of the game. And that only came to mind afterwards, right? But in the moment, it was more just like everything's okay. I mean, I'm just hurting right now. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But I think it got more real when the trainer told me, we gotta wrap this up every day. We gotta get you on crutches. And it really didn't hit me until the doctor told me like, yo, you're done for the year. And then when he told me that, I mean, bro, I've only focused on football my entire football career. So every off season, like the off season was basketball, baseball, whenever that was going on. So anytime football was done, I'm in the weight room, first one there, last one out. I swear to God, that's how it was.
Yeah.
I was so dedicated to this sport, to making sure that our senior year was the best year, and it just ends just like that, bro. You don't plan for it, you don't expect it, so obviously overall it just sucks, and you have a lot of regret, and you just always wish that you could have done more. You just always wish I could have just worked out a little bit harder, could have done this better, could have just done a lot of things, brought my team together a little bit more, worked out with them more. So just a lot of regret, and obviously you can hear it in my voice, it still sucks.
Dude, yeah. I mean, for me, like, luckily I got to go and play ball 4 years in college, but my last high school game, I felt miserable. I was like, well, I sat on the 50-yard line. We were playing Graham at home. It was at Urbana. And I had a sprained neck. My shoulder kept dislocating. And I came off the field with 4 minutes left against Urbana, pouring down rain, just bawling my eyes out, dude. Because, I mean, at this point, I had to sit out 4 weeks of basketball season because I couldn't even lift my arm above my shoulder. But personally, I took it hard, dude, because, like, football was my escape. It was a way for me to, let my anger out, like, legally, like, be able to hit people. And I think that, like, I didn't know if I was going to play ball in college, and I was just like, I have no clue what I'm going to do now. You're taking my favorite sport away from me. I just don't know what to do. But then I got to play. And then I got to college, and it was that was a different type of hurt. We were playing at Capitol, got done. We won, ended on a win. But we missed the playoffs 2 years in a row after surely should have made it, but we kept losing. And, Irv said it the best, man. Like, you always feel like there's more that you could have done. And for a long time there, I was battling whether or not I wanted to play another year. And then I'm just like, dude, I can't. Like, my body just can't do it anymore. And, like, I just can't keep doing this to myself. And I think that last game at Capitol really changed me. Like, you said you left a part of yourself out there. And there's definitely a part of me, like, still out there on the gridiron, man. That's for sure. And, they say it's you versus you, stuff like that. They say there's no I in team. They say, there's always more you can do and all this stuff. And, 5 years later, it's still the same kind of heartache a little bit when you think about it. But, that was my experience. I'm glad I got that experience, though, because, the you versus you thing, that's not just in a sport. Like, that's every day. Like, you as a person, you as a friend, you as a brother. And, like, that's how I take it now. I try to connect the morals and the values of the sport that I loved into my actual life now. Like, I'll be sitting at work, right? Customer service. I do the customer service analysis, and I'm, like, trying to compete with other people to put orders in, and that's just the sad nature, man.
Yeah, man. A lot of people that don't play sports, they don't really realize how much it really changes your life. That's why, I'm sure a lot of people push them to go play a sport, go do this, at least try it, just because, I mean, the relationships you make with everyone else, the hard work, and, just being, and who said it? Was it Key? No, it was Adam. He had a coach that was very strict about being on time, and he talked about how, now he's never going to be late to anything ever again.
50 minutes early.
So, it's stuff like that you learn with the sports. Yeah. But, Caiden, getting back to you, getting to record those last moments of your high school career, and then being in that locker room, it was different, man. Everything just kind of felt too real. Sitting behind the camera, just kind of making sure you catch these plays and making sure you catch the big moments. But, it was hard, man, because, I get to know you guys, right? I get to experience the games with you guys. I get to be with you, learn about you guys, and, seeing you, kind of break down in that moment, seeing everyone else just kind of show their real emotions, man. It just kind of it hit me a little different, man. You see the coach, how they feel, and just that experience is just it's different, something that a lot of people don't get to experience, and it's just definitely the worst and the saddest part about filming these things, because I get to experience it with football guys as well, right? Just this past season, the Riverside guys, they were champions as well. I'm really close with them, so I got to see them just go, just kind of go through it, at the end of the season. So, it just puts everything into perspective. Can you just kind of talk about, after the game and it being in that locker room and just kind of feeling what you felt?
Yeah, so, you were definitely correct. It felt, too real. None of us were expecting to be done. We went in that game. We were going to win that game. So when it didn't come out how we wanted, it was a really different type of feeling. I mean, I kind of got lightheaded in the locker room. It was just I don't want to be here right now. This is the type of experience that comes with sports that you never want to go through, and everything. I love my teammates. Some of those guys are my best friends. I talk to those guys every day, and now that I didn't really look at it as a sport. It's just going out and hanging out with the guys, at practice, games. It's just hanging out with my friends, doing what we love to do. And when I got kind of took away from us, it really hurt. And I think it's still going to hurt some people for a long time, because we love being around each other. We were such a close team, and it was a different type of feeling.
We leave Butler, and then we go back to Indian Lake. We go back into your guys' locker room. And then, each senior basically gives a speech to the younger guys. And, I think a lot of them stuck out to me, but yours is definitely one. You talked about how just be in the moment, enjoy the moment, don't take any of it for granted. And can you just kind of tell us why that was so important to you to tell the younger guys?
Yeah, so I got into it a little bit earlier. I was don't you think you're going to be here forever, and you're just not. And just not even just basketball, your high school career, especially my senior year, it's your year of your last and everything, and it's just different. Friday night football games, some of the best times of my life are Friday night football games. I'm glad I got to experience those. And even just in the stands, it's still just really fun to be there. It's a great time and everything. Just going through all that stuff throughout the year and everything. It's just I'll never get those back. They're just memories now, in which I wouldn't trade anything I've ever did. I'm very very blessed to have the experiences that I've had. Sure. But it's just I just don't want them to waste it or take it for granted. So I really wanted them to understand you're only here once, so don't take anything you do for granted.
Before we move on to the next subject, you're talking to these younger guys, giving this wonderful advice, and I just want to know, who are some younger guys that you kind of took under your wing that you look forward to growing as athletes?
Yeah, so probably the two underclassmen I was really close with were Brody and Avery, just because they played varsity with us their first years in high school. Avery was a freshman last year. We were really close, and he really just liked to learn a lot, and I had no problem talking to Avery. We just kind of matched right away. And Brody, I think is single-handedly probably one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. That dude is he's so funny. He's always looking for just a good time, like while he's playing and stuff and everything. And we kind of clicked right away too. Like he's a competitor, I'm a competitor. So I look forward to seeing them grow as athletes and people for sure during their high school careers because they still got some time left. So those two for sure.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about some of the toughest moments that you had to face as an athlete? Not only just being, on the court.
Like stuff that people don't really talk about is like kind of what's off the field, off the court. Like when, let's say, like your team's like you're losing right now, and especially in small towns, like people are gonna maybe say some bad stuff about your team and stuff, and it really can actually put you down like a lot, you in particular or your team. And it's really hard to deal with sometimes at the time, depending on who says it. But a lot of people don't talk about like what goes on outside, and like you just have to fight through that and keep doing your best and everything. And I feel like that doesn't always go into show like what people are going through and stuff. So you just got to keep going.
So I kind of, to piggyback off of Irv's question, I personally would like to know like if there is any off-court struggles that you have been through. And, as an athlete, what are some things that you just don't talk about or that don't get recognized enough?
Struggles that I've been through. So my sophomore year, it was getting towards the end of the season, and like my grandma was like in the hospital, and she eventually passed away right after the season ended. And like that's like my best friend. I lived with her, like we were together every day. So everyone knew when that happened. Like my kind of world was just shocked. Everything changed for me. And to play basketball at that time was really hard. Yeah. Like, and everything, because we did everything together. So to battle through that, and we went to districts and stuff, it was really hard for me. But I had a great team, great community behind me. So just that type of stuff, like that was really hard for me. Probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Yeah. Just keep going after you lose someone like that. That kind of goes in like the struggles of just everyone. Like you never know what people are going through, and like you still come here every day ready to work and do your thing. So some days are worse than others, but you just gotta keep going.
For sure, man.
You were always great on the court, like you talked about. You started freshman year, correct?
Yeah.
And you have all these accomplishments that you have achieved. Can you talk a little bit about how it feels like? Was there ever any pressure on you to when it just finally got to you? Everyone's expecting a lot out of me. Did it ever get to you?
People would just always say like, "I'm coming tonight. Like you better go crazy and everything."
Right.
Like everyone like, and then once the town like got into it too, like it got to the point where like I'm going out to like McDonald's and stuff, and people are talking to me about the game next week and like how they're coming and stuff. So that didn't really like ever really get to me. It was just like, man, like I better perform. Like these people are coming to watch us. So, and then eventually, like Irv said, like there wasn't a seat to be had this year. So it was definitely pressure to perform for sure.
So that kind of takes me into another question. We've talked about the overall success and the trajectory of Indian Lakes basketball program and how it's thriving in the right direction. Where are you leaving this thing, and how do you see the team developing and playing in years to come?
So they're going to be really young next year. So it might be kind of a year like my junior year. Like they're going to have to find themselves, but they have a lot of dedicated people that like want to play basketball, want to get in the gym. So that's really kind of the mark we left. Like you have to want to be here and you have to do this and this if you want to be successful. So I think they're heading in the right direction, and that's going to be their journey, is like they have a lot of new faces there. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be.
It's really cool to get to hear that you and Avery were already putting in that work this previous year, and just getting to know Brody and how great he is, because he got second team as a freshman. So that's a huge accomplishment. So I'm excited now being a part of what this season was. I'm just excited to see what those two guys do coming up.
We've talked about how the sport of basketball has affected you, how it's helped you grow, how it's helped you overcome trials and tribulations. Who is somebody that has always motivated you to be great on and off the court?
Probably my dad for sure. Just every day, like he'll call me every morning, like, "Hey, let's go be great today." Not just on the court, like, just a person, like, go be a great person today. Go do something. Go make someone's day. So definitely him. Like if you, yeah, he always used to say like stuff like, if you're not brightening someone else's day, then what are you doing? Like if you're not helping others, then what are you doing? Because all it is every day, you should just be looking to be a better person and help others.
Right before we end it off, man, I do just kind of want to talk about. Can you just tell us what your favorite moment of this year was?
Probably winning an outright CBC championship. That's never been done before in Indian Lake history. And it was something that kind of got robbed from us last year, and that we really wanted this year. And to get it, it was just kind of like relief. Like it was this weight lifted kind of off our shoulders a little bit. Like it was everything that we wanted and worked for, and we got what we deserved. So that was a huge moment for me.
So before we hit the head on this thing, I just want to say thank you for one, and then also, you know, with this platform, we really try to send a positive message. If there's any younger athletes that are aspiring to, you know, excel in a sport or to do something good, what's some advice that you'd give a young kid that, you know, has a dream of being a tremendous basketball player one day?
Don't stop working. Like, times are going to get tough. Like, there might be days you might barely make a shot. Like, I've been there, done it. It's just, like, don't stop working. Like, that's probably the worst thing you can do. Just every day, just improve. Just be consistent, honestly. Consistency is key.
I love that, man. And, you know, we're pretty much done here. And I just want to say, you know, I really appreciate you coming on, man. You know, I do want to thank you, Dawson, Finn Frog, and Brody Reisinger for, you know, repping the stuff on the court, man. That was pretty cool to see. That meant a lot to me. So, you know, just want to thank you for that and giving us your time today and getting to share your story. You know, so thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
See you next time on the Huddle.
Perfect.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, man. Pre-game song of choice. What is it?
Pre-game, the Viva La Vida song. Yeah, something like
The
that.
one where it's like, I used to rule.
Yes, I love that song.
Wait, what is it?
Viva La Vida by Coldplay.
Yes, I don't know why. I actually don't know. I think it's because when my first video game was 2K13.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the song that, like, when you were choosing teams that I would play. So I think that's why I really like that song. But I couldn't even tell you, honestly.